There you go. So I just threw the link to this presentation into the chat there, so you guys should be able to access that. What I'm doing is I'm just taking and I'm going to go through this, and we're just going to play for an hour. Okay, and if you get lost in a tool or an app or something, that's absolutely fine, because that's part of the deal, right? Finding things. You guys will have access to this this presentation, and you will be able to click on any of the images in this presentation and access those as we go through. So I am going to go to present mode. I'm going to share my screen, and I'll be jumping in and out of this here as we go through and go from there. I'm also working on making sure I want to make sure I get everybody in that's to get in here as well. And just you want to make sure you mute your mic there. Let's admit all. Sorry, I want to make sure everybody has a chance to get in. Okay, technology tools that make learning fun. We're going to jump in. We're going to get started. For those of you that don't know, I'm Jeff Cruz. I'm one of the two members of Beyond the Chalk. Dean Phyllis, my other, is my business partner. We work with schools all around the country, helping.
Can't even click on that join session and
integration of technology. So we're going to jump right into this guy here. Again, thanks to Blackfoot for sponsoring the conference. They have, I think they opened this up to over 250 individuals. I think that was the cap that they had for free participation in the conference. So we want to make sure that when we have a chance, we thank them for that. All right, we're going to get started. So this first tool, making learning fun. Now, here's what I think I'd like to, this is how I would like to run this session here. I just want to introduce you to the tool. I want you to get in and play. And then what I'd like for you to do is take and think about ways you might be able to use this in your classroom. Now, some of you might not be able to think of ways, which is fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just, but this is just kind of a last session of the day. Keep it moving, keep it fun. And so we are going to jump in, admit all here. I've got some other folks. We're going to jump into this quick draw, and I'm going to just click on that link right there. And quick draw is a tool I actually, we showed you this very, very briefly in one of our last sessions, but we're going to go on and play right now. So you can click on the image in that slide. It's going to open up a link to quick draw. And this is a tool that uses AI to predict what you are drawing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here, and we're going to click on Let's Draw. And let's draw. There we go. And notice what it said. It's going to draw a trombone. So I have to figure out how to draw a trombone here. And Google is going to say, okay, I'm going to try to predict what you're drawing. Please don't judge, okay? I've got 20 seconds to do it. It's got a big...
I see line, or garden hose, or belt, or spoon. I see bandage, or drill, or wristwatch.
Doesn't it have like some things back?
I see screwdriver, or airplane, or shoe, or baseball bat. Sorry, I couldn't guess it.
Dang it. So I'm going to stop because it's going to get really annoying if mine's going and yours going, but give it a shot, play with it a little bit and see. And then when you get to the end, you can actually look at, if you click on one of your drawings, it'll show you all the other drawings. Blake got one right. I saw that. Yeah, just give it a shot, play a little bit. I've got a lot of things to get through, but I also know that this time of day, we just need to play a little bit. Sherry, are you able to see my full screen now? Uh-oh. It's funny how all these are, there are different issues with remote learning links. So I've got to send somebody a link here real quick. Okay. How we doing, folks? Anybody getting them all right?
Put your own words in?
Pardon me?
Can you put your own words in? Like if you
No.
wanted them to, oh.
No,
'Cause I
so
could-
yeah, it's just their words.
I could see a use for it, like if you said you could program in, like draw a quarter note or draw a half note
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
or a fermata, you know what I mean?
Every time you do it, it's different, you know, and
Yeah.
every once in a while, I've done it enough times now where I get a repeat. I'm not any better at drawing, but I get the repeat word. And so, but for the most part, oh, Lissa says her students always laugh at her because she can't draw, but she got a 6 out of 6. So take that, students. You know, and this is kind of one of those like somebody was mentioning that 5 minutes at the end of the day, or that talk about that engagement piece, or that you know, after you've been doing something for 10 minutes, you take a brain break a little bit, right? The problem is that once you get kids onto this, it's hard to get them off of it, right? So that's the only caveat. So probably at the end of the day would be a good time to do this. I'll give you 2 more minutes to play. If you've finished and you've got your scores, if you click on one of your images, it will actually show you the other drawings for that word that, you know, people from around the world have done as well. So it's kind of interesting to see. And there are some pretty amazing artists out there, as you'll note from looking at those images there.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
As a high school teacher, are any of these, I mean, is this thing going to start predicting lewd drawings, etc.?
So here's that's a really good question, right? So you don't want to get kids, or you don't want to have to deal with that issue. So because Google picks the words, it's not going to put any, you know, of that content that's questionable in there. So a lot of the words that you're going to see are, I mean, just like you saw, they're objects. They're not necessarily other, you know, it's not going to predict, let's say somebody, you know, draws a sexual act or something happening. It's not going to be able to even predict that because it's not in that AI language database that it's using. Was that the answer to your question?
Okay, yeah, I'll let you know.
It's a good question, right? I mean, you got to think about that stuff. All right, I'm trying to make sure everybody gets in. I can only draw worms. Oh, it's too hard for the littles. Yeah, it might be hard for the little ones too, especially with a mouse, right? Having to use a mouse to draw is a little bit difficult. Well, it's difficult for me, I should say. But something to look at. I'm gonna stay out of. You guys can see my screen fine, correct? You see my presentation screen? Yeah, you could use this. You know what? That's a great idea. You could use it on a smart board, right? So bring somebody up to the board. You could actually use it on an iPad as well, right? So you could actually take and then you obviously are using your finger to do that. So there are ways that you could make that work. So
I see mountain. Oh, I know. It's too.
Other questions? If you can draw it, a 16-year-old can draw it. That's just the way it is. That's absolutely right. A lot Let's talk about this next one here. I like this next one. This is Carmen Sandiego. So you guys all, I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to embarrass my kids. But where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, right? That computer program that we all had. So if you haven't seen the new Google Earth, one of the issues with Google Earth is that it was a standalone program. It took all kinds of space on the computer, and it just drained the bandwidth in the computer lab and in the school. So what Google did is they completely kind of started from ground zero, redid Google Earth, and now Google Earth lives in a browser, right? So if you have, and so why would Google do that? Because I forget what the numbers of Chromebooks are in schools now, but it's astounding the number of Chromebooks. And I think I mentioned this earlier today, you can't even get a Chromebook now. They are at least 6 weeks out for Chromebooks, and Dell Chromebooks are now like, we aren't going to get them until January. So there's a big push. And so Google, realizing that, really remanufactured Google Earth to fit inside of a browser so that those Chromebooks could use it. So what Google techs have done is they've created their own version of where on Google Earth is Carmen Sandiego. So I'm going to have you just go ahead and click on that. When you do click on that, it's going to actually take you to a splash screen, going to give you some information, and your job will be to track down Carmen Sandiego using the clues inside of Google Earth. So this is a great way, if you're going to use Google Earth for a project in your class, this is a great tool for getting kids to figure out how to navigate inside of Google Earth. So my Google Earth is starting up here. Hopefully yours starts a little faster than mine. There it goes. But when you get in there, you're going to see, again, a splash screen, and you're going to be able to click on a button and you're going to be able to get started and go. So let you play with this for a little bit. I may not let you get all the way to the end where you find Carmen Sandiego, but you can leave that tab open and come back to that after this session's over. I like that. There's a new series of choose your own books with Carmen Sandiego. So this is going to be a great little digital tie-in for those books. Thanks, Michelle, for sharing that. I can't even get my Google Earth to run here. So are you guys into the Carmen Sandiego? Give me a thumbs up if yeah. Oh, good, good. Thanks, Joe. There it is. If you, let's see, that's Kathy. Kathy, if you, let me just find that link again that I shared. Actually, I probably just go ahead and do that. Nope, that's the wrong link. Let me give you the link here, Kathy, and make it easier for you here. Copy and paste. So Kathy, if you get into that link that I just threw into the chat there, that'll get you to that presentation. And if you go to slides 5 and you just click on the graphic there, it will actually take you, there's a link at the bottom there, and you just click on that, it will take you. It's a great question, right, Alyssa? So Google Earth, one of the things they did is they actually had to start over. So some of the features we saw in the standalone version of Google Earth, they were taken out just because of the code that they had to write just inside of a web browser. It was too difficult to include all those things. Now what's happening is they're starting to put those items back in, those features. One of the features they just added at the end of last year was the creator tool. And the creator tool allows you to create your own virtual Google Earth tours. So technically, you could take and create your own where in the world is Carmen Sandiego type of experience for your kids. It would take some work to do that, but if you're interested in that, you've got our contact information. We got a teacher in Texas that is amazing. I'm sure he would be more than willing to help us out. Like the Oregon Trail, yep, yep. No, so it's not random where it takes you. This this particular tour or voyage, I guess, is specific to location. So once you did it, it really wouldn't be that much fun because you would always go to the same or end at the same spot. Yeah, and again, think about what you're doing here. You're learning some of the features inside of Google Earth, right? You're learning how to navigate back and forth and flying in and those types of things. I really think that's an important part of understanding how to use a tool is working through some of the features. Yeah, it's the same adventure each time, exactly. Yeah. Okay, can I pull you away? I'm gonna move a slide here because I want to oh, I gotta mix somebody else here. Because I really like this next one here. So we're doing Carmen Sandiego. The next one we're gonna do, there we go. I'm gonna pull that time-lapse piece up here. This is a Google Earth time-lapse. If you have not seen this, this is amazing. So let me kind of set the stage here. So Google, well, actually the Landsat satellites have collected imagery of the Earth for what, 30, 40 years now? And in that time, they've collected, they've made like numerous passes across the same region over several years. And so what Google has done with Google Earth Engine, and this is an amazing amount of computing power, is they took the best scene for every part of the Earth, for every month, and they took and they stitched it all together into one large mosaic. And then they took and they put it together in a time-lapse type of experience. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to I'll show you my favorite. It's called the RLC, and this is, it's phenomenal what you can do and what you can see with this. So the RLC in the late 1970s or 80s, they actually started diverting some of the water going into the sea to irrigate cotton. And they didn't really think about what that might do to the rest of the environment, to the sea itself and other things. And so within that 40-year time frame, that sea has shrunk to the point where there are two different bodies of water. I think the percentage of decrease is in the 60 or 70%. And so it just really is phenomenal how it all kind of comes together. So I'm gonna go up on the top up here, and I'm gonna go to case studies. And it should take me to, well, I should have, maybe I'm gonna go back here. It should show those on the side right there. Hopefully your guys is running faster than mine, but what you'll notice is that it will actually take and create a time lapse, and you can pause it as you go through. So I guess what I would like to see you do is just kind of check out some of those data sets from around the world and see how things have changed around certain areas. Well, let's go back to data sets then. Nope. It's not what I want. It's not loading. You can also take and just zoom into an area, right? So if you want to actually go and see how something has changed around your community, you can actually just zoom into this data set here like this. And this is the arrow C right here. This is in 1994. And if I play this, what you'll notice is that you'll see how this data set has changed over time. And there's a tremendous amount of environmental impacts that have occurred as a result of that. You can actually jump to Bolivia and see examples of deforestation to see how much that has changed the environment there as well. So I think this is an incredibly powerful learning tool for you as a teacher, as well as your kids, to really kind of start to use satellite models to determine change over time. Let's see, Sherry just asked, is there one on glaciers in Glacier National Park? Again, Sherry, what you can do is you can just navigate to Glacier National Park. So you can zoom back out, go to Glacier Park, and you can actually zoom into an area inside of Glacier. So Kathy needs a link. So there's the link to the entire presentation, Kathy. Hopefully that lets you get into where you need to be. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to zoom into Montana. Once you kind of look at satellite imagery, Montana has some pretty distinct geologic features. Obviously, Flathead Lake is a pretty distinct landform there. The Bitterroot Mountain Range is always easy to pick out inside of satellite imagery here. So we're going to zoom into what I think is McDonald Lake. And if we knew what glaciers we wanted to go to, we could actually just jump in here and, and remember, this is a searchable database here. So Glacier National Park, Montana, I can zoom right into that. It's going to take me right into there. So not only is it just a free search, but you can also use the search feature up here as well. And what you can also is, you notice there's a share link right here. So if I wanted to, I can do one of two things. I could share this link. I could throw it into Google Classroom, and I could say, take my kids to a certain area, have them compare and contrast areas, and have them look at that timeline to see how things have changed over a given period of time. Do some analysis, those types of things.
What are you clicking for the time lapse part?
So down below, if you notice down below, there's a little play button down there. You see the dates down on the bottom down there? And if you click that little play button, that will take you through the time lapse there. You can see that or not, but. And by the by, what you can do, you can actually set the timing of your time lapse, and you have some course adjustments. So if I want to slow down my time lapse, I can do that by adjusting it to a 0.25 times. And you can start to see those changes over time as well. Again, I can zoom into a certain area if I know what glaciers I'm looking for. Now, the problem is with Landsat data, Landsat data is only 30-meter resolution, so you're not going to get some really high resolution data in here. And the data set itself is massive. It's just huge. So I don't even know if they could actually do that with higher resolution data. All right, so I lost you on the time lapse now. I'm going to, or maybe on the auto draw, or maybe on the Carmen San Diego, but I'm going to stop that one, and I'm going to come back into that tool piece, and I'm going to go to Big Huge Labs. So this has been around for a long time. And it looks like Tammy said she's using Google Earth in kindergarten. That is awesome. I put in their addresses in and they get to see their house. That's super cool. And Shanna asked, did I take it on the same day? No, because what they're doing is they're actually finding the one with the least amount of cloud cover. So they're trying to get them in the same month, and they're able to do that as best they can. And I think they've managed to do that pretty well. So Big Huge Labs is like this, this archive of, and by the way, for those of you that might be having trouble getting to these sites, every one of these is a graphic. On each of the slides is a graphic, and if you click on it, a link shows up down here in the bottom, and all you have to do is click on that link to access it. So Big Huge Labs do fun stuff. So I like Big Huge Labs because you can do a lot of things inside of this very quickly. So I can create a magazine cover. So think about, you know, getting kids to engage in creating these, you know, a magazine cover that may, I don't know, they're doing a cover story on a certain project, you know, a certain concept you're teaching. We can do a badge maker. So let's say you're doing something famous people, and then you have them create a badge with that person's name on it. Maybe put a characteristic or a saying from that person. You can do calendars, all kinds of things inside of Big Huge Lab. So I think of this more as this is kind of a place where you can find all kinds of utilities to create different things. You notice we can do posters. We can do a photo booth up here, a map maker, different kinds of things inside of Big Huge Labs. So each one of these will take you to another page inside of Big Huge Labs. And from there, you have the ability to upload images, to put in text, those types of things as you work through this. So press pass, right? So maybe you have a model United Nations, right? And they have to be a certain, you know, from a certain country, whatever. They can actually make that pass. They can put the flag on there. They can do different things with using this tool called Big Huge Labs. Yeah, great tools for a photo class. Jigsaw puzzle would be cool, right? Getting to know you activity. I like that. Yeah, so figure out how you can use that as that first 2 weeks of your class to engage kids and to create that you know, that connectedness in your classroom. So I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that, but that's also a tool there that I think you'll find useful as you go through. I know I'm gonna lose you on this one too, but oh well. Coding, coding. So Google Blockly, if you have not played Google Blockly, this is a great tool. So creative thinking, right? That whole idea of that using logic to solve problems. So if you click on this, again, the link shows up in the bottom. This particular one is called Maze. And there's several Blockly games. I prefer the Maze games because I've done this enough times to so I'm able to play it. So basically it starts off at level 1 and you have to solve level 1 before you can go on to level 2. So basically you have to take Pegman from point A to point B using only the code blocks that they give you inside of this, this game here. So my first one, it says move forward. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in there. I'm gonna run my program. And if I did it right, I can hear people are being successful there. If I did it right, boom, tells me. Nice. Now I'm ready to move on to level 2. So, and you're saying to yourself, wow, Jeff, come on, give us something easier or harder. So just know that once you get to level 10, it gets really complex. So now notice that we've got a turn in here at some point. So I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna turn left. I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna turn right. And then I'm gonna move forward. Let's see if that works. So again, you're just taking and you're using logic code blocks to solve a problem, right? So that creative thinking piece that we're trying to show our kids. When you have an opportunity, when these hints come up like mine is right here, make sure you read that, because those become pretty important in solving problems there. So this is called Blockly. It's a Google coding game. I'm going to let you play for a little bit. Somebody's asking, let's see, Denise is asking if you can make the app read for you. I don't know. I don't even know if a screen reader would actually even read this. I think a screen reader would definitely read like something like this, but I'm not sure it's going to read because these, oh, well, actually, you know what? Because your screen readers are set to be able to read that alt code or that alt text there, right? That exists for that. So that they should read that. Yeah. So Shanna's saying that setting your Chrome account settings, they should be able to do that. Also, can a student save their progress and come back to it? If you are on the exact same computer, yes, but it's not associated with a Google account, unfortunately. So, so save, so there's a new item over here that says save and link to blocks. Let's see what that does. Show your blocks with this link. So it looks like we can take that and save that link right there. And we can come back to that link. So it looks like you can save it. Is anybody through to level 10 yet? It's funny. Again, I can just see faces, and everybody looks so intent in trying to get that peg man to that other side over there. I'll just give you a couple more minutes to play with this one here. Agreed, Lissa. Yeah, you may not want to see your kids because so it allows you to change. That's nice. So it allows you to change. Oh yeah, look at that. The pull down over here, all different languages, right? So if you wanted to, that'd be a great thing for a foreign language teacher, to use to have your students practice. Somebody's speaking in Spanish now. It must be almost 4 o'clock. Oh boy, now we're gonna be. There's another tool here that is similar. So Google Blockly is really just a series of steps to get to level 10. And then to go to the next part, to the next level, I guess, you might use something like this, like Scratch. So Scratch was a language built by MIT. It's an object-based, coding platform. But basically, you have this area over here, which is your, oh shoot, I just lost it. Oh, oops, I just moved to the other one. But, and you have these objects called sprites that you can move around. And so basically you use code blocks to code the movement of objects across the scene right here. So that's what it's called a scene. So if I click on this and I go to Scratch at MIT, you can actually log in and you can save your games. And from there, you can take and continue to build. They have tutorials. There's all kinds of tutorials at Scratch out there. But again, if you're looking at ways to engage kids, to really practice critical thinking, those things, Scratch is a great way to have kids kind of challenge themselves, because again, this type of thing is very open-ended, right? You can say, all right, I want you to do X, Y, Z, but there might be 100 ways to get to the X, Y, to the end of X, Y, Z, versus the Google Blockly. While it's still that critical thinking piece, it's pretty linear in terms of what you can and can't do. So it's worth looking into. Again, Scratch, you just go to create, we can sign in and do some different things inside of Scratch and if you're gonna look at Scratch as maybe a like a genius hour type of activity, creative time, that kind of thing, what you may want to do is you may want to go through the tutorials and pick one out for your students to use and have them complete that one. Guarantee you that your students are going to just kind of take off. Those of you that are those of your students that are interested in coding are going to take off and just really run with it for sure. So I'm not going to spend any time loading that, but Scratch is a great one to kind of look at, use again. To really challenging challenging your high level kids or other kids that maybe aren't so I guess they don't function that well in a more structured classroom setting. Auto draw, we talked about this a little bit. So auto draw, actually you start to draw, and it's a form of AI. You're going to go out, you're going to start to draw something, and then it's going to try to predict what you're drawing. So if I take and let's just see here. I'm going to try and my computer is running very, very slow right now, so I'm not sure. I just want to delete everything. There you go. Start over. Okay. Here we go, auto draw. So notice that it's just going to say, all right, these are some things that you could be drawing. So now if I come out here like this, it's going to say, well, it might be something like this here. So it's starting to predict up on top what it is that I'm drawing. And so I say, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was drawing. That right there, that bridge. Can you guys tell that I was drawing a bridge? So it uses AI to predict the article or the item that I am drawing. So, it's similar to that quick draw, and in that it uses the AI to try and determine what it is that you're drawing. So simple, easy. Again, might be kind of a fun one to introduce kids to as a challenge type of activity or tool to use. So that's auto draw. And Michelle just made a great point. She says there's also Scratch Junior for the littles. I forgot to mention that. So if Scratch is just too much for your younger kids, there is a Scratch Junior. That's also, so Scratch is also an app on the iPhone or on the iPad as well as Scratch Junior. So that might be something for those of you that have iPads that you could look into as a coding game for your kiddos. Okay. Let's jump into this one. Now, I'm gonna lose some people on this one. We kind of went through this before, but we didn't get a chance to play. The Chrome Music Lab is awesome. So obviously they've got some music people at Google. So the Music Lab is really just several different tools inside of this container, this Chrome Music Lab container. And so I want you to just jump in. Again, you click on the graphic, you go to the link, and you will have an opportunity to choose between all of those different tools. So just get in and play. Now, it's not just about music either. I think there's a lot of math application here. There's some science application as well. There's that creative piece, again, teaching kids to be creative and solve problems, those types of things. So go in, play a little bit. I'll give you about 5 minutes to do that, and then we'll see where we are after that. I'm just going to give you a couple more minutes to play, and then we'll move on to the next piece here. Problem, I think, with all of these for me is that each one of them you could spend an hour on, right? Going through and learning. And so I know I'm going through these kind of fast, but I also know that majority of you are going to go home and you're going to spend extra time going through these items here. I like so Michelle's linking the Kandinsky, I think is how you say that activity, with the picture book biography Noisy Paint Box. So think about again, that connection to the literacy piece. I think anytime you can connect content across domains, I think that's powerful for our students. Yep, and it is a good, Lisa says it's a good brain break, right? So you can kind of set your kids down and you can say, okay, again, I keep going back to that engagement. That was the largest word in that word cloud from this morning. And I think that some of the tools, hopefully, that we're showing today are tools that you could use to engage students again, or maybe give them that break that they need, that opportunity to maybe explore a little bit on their own, right? Own some of their own learning as you go through. Yeah, that Christina says, this really brings sound waves to life, don't they? It really does kind of show that the structure of a wave and what that might look like. And yeah. Okay, we're gonna jump to the next one here. This is actually an app. I have it linked to the website, but Just a Line is an app. And so, we start thinking about how, how technology has changed how we look at the world, and the whole idea of those Google expeditions that are 360 degrees that appear to be 3D, but this Just a Line is super awesome. It's like I said, it's a phone app, so you can take your phone, you can download that app on your phone, and once you do that, make sure I go to that. You're going to go to Just a Line, and what I can do is I can take and create a line. So here's my phone right here. It's giving me just a screen. Oops, you don't want to see that. Oh, wow, that's bad. So it's giving me a screen. There's a little dot on there. And when I take and I hold that dot, it starts to draw. You notice that? And it's not just drawing in 2 dimensions, it's actually drawing in 3 dimensions, right? So if I come back and I go, and then what I can do is once I get back here, I can actually look at that line and kind of walk through it. I didn't record that, so I'm gonna have to record. Oops, oh no, there it is. There it is. So now if I come over here, you can, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you can actually see a line in there that I can actually walk through. So think about the idea of maybe trying to paint or draw or write. Yeah, it is kind of trippy for sure. But you think about you're gonna paint, you're gonna draw, you're gonna write in a 3rd dimension, and how just in terms of the cognitively what you have to think about as you're doing this, it's pretty powerful. So I want you guys to, if you would, take a minute, download that onto your phone, and just play with it a little bit. Too much thinking? You're right, it is. It's too much wasted, I shouldn't say wasted time. But I just think it's super cool to be able to kind of, walk through a space and kind of think about it a little bit differently, right? I'm going to let you play with that for a little bit. By the way, do you happen to be sitting next to somebody? If you were next to somebody, and I know we're supposed to be 6 feet apart, but you can actually do this with a partner. You can draw together. You notice down on the bottom down there, there's a little, 2-person icon. You click on that and your phones are close enough together, you can actually draw together. It's just a line, right? What's the app called again? Yeah, just a line. And I love, this is the part that I love. I love watching people, you know, actually, you know, use their phones and they're up and down and they're looking around and yeah, some people are having issues with Wi-Fi and downloading apps. I get that. That's a hard one. Zoom is kind of bandwidth intensive for sure. So if you're not able to do it, you can go back. It looks like some of you are finding it, are able to do that for sure. Just adds it. It's kind of, I kind of like using this kind of technology because I think it challenges us to think differently about maybe what our kids might need to know as they, you know, go into a world that we don't necessarily know all that it holds, right? It's a little bit different. Okay, now we're gonna have a little fun. I think this is an app too. I'm gonna check to see if this is an app as well because it may be easier for you to. I don't think it is. Okay. This next one, if you haven't seen JibJab, this is kind of fun. I think this is, this would be one for, just for, you need to have a little fun with an administrator or something, or your brother, sister, mom, dad, that kind of stuff. So what JibJab does is it allows you to put somebody's face into a dancing scene of some kind, right? So I'm gonna, now I've got lines on my screen here for some reason, so I don't know why that is, but I took the liberty of taking Dean's comic face, don't tell him, and I put it into a little JibJab action just to see if it's anything like him dancing in real life. And we're gonna see, uh-oh, is Brooks in here? Brooks, are you in here? Oh no, well, I don't see her, that's good. So mine's taking a little bit of time to load, but if you guys load that up, I'm gonna close some windows here, maybe regain some of my bandwidth as I go through. Oh, here we go, we're gonna get there. Send some custom cards. So then what you do is you actually take a picture either of your face or somebody else's face, and you can add them into a JibJab scene. It creates a kind of a dance scene, puts the face on, and it and then you can send that off as a card to somebody like that. So new shorties, so all, so I can take, and some of it's free, some of it you can, let's see if it has mine up here still. No cards yet. So I'm gonna go back to videos. Let's just see. Oh, let's just go ahead and put Dean into, we're gonna put him into here. We're gonna get started here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna click on one of these guys. It's a birthday piece right here. Yeah, you can put your dog face in the video as well. Cast, it tells you how people will be in the video. I actually made these with all my kids that you can put, like, you know, for a Christmas card or something like that as well. So it kind of shows you what this is gonna look like. I take the e-card, I click on make the e-card, it's gonna go in, it's gonna say, all right, where's the face? Oh, that's the face right there. Little hamsters are, oh, there it is, there's Dean. I'm gonna click on next. And Jamie's iPhone is trying to get in here. It's going to render that video, put the face where it needs to be. And Dean looks like he's going to be in kind of a death fight with somebody here as we go through. There we go. Let's just play this and see what it looks like. I might actually have to share this with Dean. Oops, didn't like that. Oh, man. Oh, for some reason I'm not logged in. Yeah, there are some free ones, and then there are some that cost money. Again, that's just you know, I'm trying to kind of find some fun tools that we can use at the end of the day and stuff like that. This one may not have a great application to education, but you know, if you have sisters, brothers, you know, that you like to kind of have fun with, then this might be one to just kind of try out. Don't tell them you're taking a picture of their face for that reason, though. Okay, jumping back to the slide presentation, I might just skip over a couple pieces here. I'm going to go to Google Experiments. We talked about these earlier too. This is it's pretty amazing. So Google has this 20% time thing that they have where they allow their employees to spend 20% of their time on like passion projects. So these are kind of a collection of experiments that those individuals have created over time. So there's some coding pieces involved. But if you look under collections here, there are a lot of different collections, you know, some voice experiments, some AI, Android, some Chrome experiments. You know, so we go to Chrome experiments here. It's just going to take and it's going to filter those down to all those experiments that pertain to Chrome. So there's the music lab that we've talked about. Sequencing, WebGL stuff, right? Some just different graphics, some really interesting, interesting things that folks are doing. We got some Flappy Bird stuff. So take a look. I mean, kind of cruise around some of those there, the different collections, the different experiments, and these are not all done by Googlers. These are done by, you know, folks like you and I that just have gone out and they've said, you know what, I think that I could do this. Coloring books, those types of things. So I'm just going to let you look a little bit and have a little fun exploring some of those. I know we're nearing the end of the day because my computer just keeps running slower and slower and slower. Anybody find anything worth mentioning in that AI or the Chrome experiments piece there? Right, to find time to play, right? Absolutely. Oh my. Oh, look at that. I just found another. Somebody just I'm sending, there's another, was it Festicide? Is that what it's called? Okay. That one we might have to check out there. So I want to end with another site that I am a big fan of breakout rooms, and I'm sure that there are folks in the session today that have done their share of breakout rooms as well. So if you haven't played inside of Breakout EDU, Breakout EDU has two types of breakouts. One is the physical breakout where you have to buy the box, right? And you buy the box and all the supplies, and then they give you the how to set up the locks and those kinds of things. The other part of that breakout are the digital breakouts. And those digital breakouts really don't need all of those components. You're doing everything online. And so what I might suggest that you do, so these are all, so this link right here is linking to all of the free breakouts here. So, and you notice this says digital right here. So they're doing breakouts as far down as kindergarten. So this is a kindergarten science breakout here. And the way that it works is you just kind of click on it, you click on it, and then it's going to take you through the process. It's going to give you a starting off point, and then you're going to be able to jump in with the kids. My suggestion is always you go through them first before the kids, so that you kind of know what they're going to run into in terms of clues and roadblocks, those types of things. But again, if we're talking about using, engaging types of activities within your classes, Breakout EDU is a great content piece, and there are a lot of content areas covered inside of the Breakout EDU. You can purchase it. Let's just take a look at pricing right now and see. Pricing per district is not terrible. So it might be worth it as a district to kind of start looking at a Breakout EDU as a school purchase, and that way you'd all have access to that piece. So one school-wide is $750. So for everybody in the school, you can cost you $750 to access all of the content, both the physical kits as well as the digital kits as well. All right. So hopefully that there was things in there that you found useful to you that you can use. Maybe you'll go home and play a little today or tonight, and talk about it more tomorrow. Did anybody have any other tools that I might have missed that you think, oh, this should have been on the list? Yeah, please throw that into the chat or jump on the mic and let us know. Yeah, and for those of you, it looks like folks are starting to put in their OPI renewal. Just say, hey, I'm here. Please do so. And it looks like we're going to end a little bit early. And you know what? That's a good thing, right? on a nice hot, what is it, Wednesday, I guess? It's Wednesday today. Yeah, Wednesday afternoon. We will see you guys tomorrow morning. For those of you taking the course for graduate credit, please make sure you're here at 7:30 tomorrow. We'll get set up. We'll walk you through some of the things you're going to be responsible for doing, and then we're going to jump into the sessions right after that. Thanks everybody for being here. Have a great rest of the day. Yeah, once you've signed in, you guys are welcome to jump off. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I didn't sign in this morning. Was there a place I was supposed to do that?
No, I don't. You know what? I'm not. I wouldn't worry about it. We're just gonna have to be flexible for sure.
Okay, well, I did the welcome assignment, so maybe that'll act as a sign-in.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
what I would do, Heather, is I would just let Daisy know. Just send Daisy an email saying, "Hey, I forgot to
Okay.
sign in." Yep,
Okay, thanks so much.
you got it. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Can I ask you a quick question? Are
Sure.
we needing to fill out that survey link that we got this morning at the end of every session as we go?
So, are you talking the survey that Daisy sent out, or the survey for the graduate credit?
Sorry, my audio just cut out really bad on you. I didn't hear anything you just said.
So the survey, are you talking about the survey for that Daisy sent out, or the survey for the graduate credit?
I don't know. It was mentioned in this morning's opening keynote with you guys that there is to do a little survey form, and there was just the same. I think it's just the same form for everything we go to, and I'm assuming it was for graduate credit.
Yes. So
We do
one
that for
aspect.
every session. Okay.
Yeah. One aspect. Yep. And you're just gonna, on that form, basically you just indicate what session it is, just the time frame,
Okay.
and then you're just gonna say these are my 2 takeaways basically from that session.
Okay.
Yep.
So I've been doing that all day. I just wanted to check if I was doing that wrong before the end of the day, and I forgot stuff. So okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So that survey she was just talking about, where do we find it? I haven't seen one.
Let me find, let me go back to our presentation from today, and I'll get that to you here. So are you talking for graduate credit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm guessing that,
If I just email that help desk, can they send me that?
yeah, they should be able to send that to you. I'm gonna actually just throw it into the chat window right here, so that you have
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah. And so this is just something that we're asking you to do for each one of the. I gotta put an HTTPS on there real quick, and that'll make it clickable. Yeah, that's what we're having everybody do, just as a takeaway. It's kind of more of as an artifact that you attended the session, and you're thinking about how you're going to apply that to your classroom.
And do one for each I attended.
Yes. And so what I'll do. At the
Okay,
end,
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, guys, feel free if you are. Oh, somebody already shared that out. Look at that. Look at that. Several people did. And I think, Sheila, we're not having you sign in. We're just having you just kind of making sure your name's in the chat. So I'm going to save this chat string at the end of this session. And then we'll just use that to make sure that, those individuals that are doing things for credit or OPI credit have their name shows up in the chat. Again, we're going to be pretty flexible on that. All right. Yeah, you guys, thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Some of you at 7:30, some of you at 8, some of you at the closing ceremony. We will see you later.